I'm Jacqui Childs, and this is my friend Virginia. We're about to get highly intimate. Hello.
Hi, Jacqui.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
Doing excellent.
Thank you for coming here.
Aw, thank you for inviting me. This is a great show you got going on.
It's fun. It's
Love
really
it.
fun.
Coming from the time we first met.
Yeah, when did we first meet?
I believe it was Can We Dine?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was fun, but that was stressful too.
Really? You found it stressful? Oh my
Yeah.
God. And there was a lot going on there. You're right. And there was actually surprisingly a lot of people interested in high dinners and people that were not part of the industry. They were very mainstream. They really wanted to be part of this dinner that was completely infused with cannabis. Every aspect of the dinner, down from the I think it was the appetizer to the main course to the desserts to the drinks. Everything was infused. So that was really interesting. And to see them break down the dosaging for people, it's just the beginning to see what's coming.
So, which is very interesting and cool for you, just the beginning, because when you're like an OG of infusions.
Yes.
The OG of infusions. So tell us what you did in the cannabis space and how you came to the cannabis space.
Well, I started out in the cannabis space, first of all, using cannabis to treat myself during a very high-risk pregnancy, which I was able to take it full term. And then afterwards, I had 6 surgeries within 3 years. And that really helped me cope with the pains and everything else that takes recovering from surgery and looking after 6 children, including
kids?
Yeah, 6 kids, including an elderly grandmother that I was caring for. And the thing is, I remember treating myself and making the choice of not going with pharmaceuticals because it wasn't something that I was adjusting well to physically. So I made the choice to use cannabis as a way to treat myself. And it wasn't until a ride program when I was volunteered full.
What? When was this? How long? What year is this?
This was about 2011. It was November, 2 days after my birthday. I was in the middle of cottage country. And there was a ride program, and I had 19 grams of cannabis, which I was charged with possession. I was not taken in. Obviously, I kind of got my way out of that.
You're like, I got my way out of that.
Yeah,
so.
that was kind of funny because I was actually, I get to cottage country and I'm thinking, oh no, this is a good time to light up that big birthday blunt, and I light that up and it was like smelling and tasting so good. I'm feeling good.
God.
And before you know it, you see all the lights and you're like, what is going on?
It's
right
cottage,
program.
like backroads cottage country?
Backroads.
Oh, okay.
Cottage country. Who does right program
Yeah.
over here in November? Like, how is this possible? But sure enough, we got stopped, and of course, the car smelled like cannabis. And I remember the police officer, the female police officer who had me, who was talking to me, she said, wow, that stuff must have been really good because I could smell it before I could even see you.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
And I was like, yeah, it was so good. And now you have it and I don't.
Oh, no. So did they leave you at the side of the road and like, do you get a ticket?
What
happened?
What happened was I was temporarily detained on the spot. They asked me, whose cannabis was it? What did I do with it? And this one officer was really disturbed, and he was really angry and upset that I had cannabis, and he was yelling at me going, what'd you do with the cannabis? Whose cannabis is it?
Oh, they want to know where you got it.
Yeah. And then I looked at him and I said, well, it's mine, and I smoked it. What else do you think I would do with it,
Right.
And then I looked at him and I don't know why, and I said, what are you, new?
Oh, no,
What else you
Virginia.
doing it? You're going to smoke it until you consume it, right?
Right.
And then all the other ones started laughing at him, and they said, yeah, he's actually new.
Oh, he is new.
He is new, so he's trying to prove himself. And it became kind of a friendly thing from there on, And I was just given notice to appear, which I did. I self-represented for, excuse me, clearing my throat. I self-represented for about 12 months, and I was one of the first to actually go to trial and self-represent and be acquitted of all charges against me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's 2011.
2011. By the time we were done, it was 2012.
Okay.
November 2012 was when I actually find my
And
final.
do you get an opportunity to share with them that you're using this as your medication? This is your
Oh,
medicine?
definitely.
Like that comes in...
During the whole process of the of going through to court trial all the time, every time we'd go, they'd say, Virginia, you need to get duty counsel or counsel. I was like, there's absolutely no need. I mean, I am a medical patient. I use this to treat myself. And the only people that are treating me here, like a criminal is the court. And I'm a responsible member of society, and it needs to be accepted that other people have choices and need to choose something that is adaptable to them. And so that's exactly the approach I took, and I wasn't going to back down. I remember I actually interviewing the duty counsel, and I felt I was my own best representative.
To share your journey and why you're here.
Exactly.
Why am I standing in front of you? Well, this is how it all started, and this is how it happened, and this is why I'm here today. So when that happens, what happens is, because we were always talking about end the stigma of whatever.
Right.
What happens, like, the world around you, like family, friends, and you've got children.
Oh, there was both. Yeah,
was there a lot of negativity? Was there a lot of...
I had to deal with children's aids a few times. And a couple times was due to the smell of cannabis, and I had to explain to them. And it was actually good because I looked at that as an opportunity to educate someone that wasn't as well informed on cannabis or had misconceptions about cannabis.
Which I wouldn't have known. In 2011, I would have been that person.
Yeah.
Like, who is this stoner with all these kids? Like,
Yeah.
I would
Trust me, I needed it. It is with all those kids that you need to be calm and relaxed, and that was just it too. Sometimes when I felt overwhelmed or stressed because the triplets were, Triplets, that's right. They were scribbling all over the walls a few times, and I couldn't keep up with them. And, trying to get one to stop scribbling on one wall while the other two upstairs doing the same thing, right?
Oh, thank goodness for cannabis.
Yeah, thank goodness for cannabis. And then you have you take a break, you have a vape pen, or you have an edible or have a joint, and you come back and you think, oh, my children are such great artists. It's a total different
10 minutes ago, this bothered me. But
exactly.
now I'm like, wow, you guys are talented.
Yeah, I started taking photos. Look at my children's art. We should frame this.
When did you start? So I came to know you from Mary's Wellness, and you were your teas, your infused teas.
So that was it. During that whole time, while caring for the children, going through recovery, and looking after my family, like my older children and my grandmother who had dementia, who I cared for, I found it very challenging to take time away and go smoke that joint or have a vape bags going around with me everywhere, right? Because I had a volcano, and you know how it is, those big bags. And actually one time I walked into the gym with a big vape bag and forgetting. What the hell? I had to run back and put a vape bag. I'm like,
I'm really breaking the stigma.
Yeah, I'm breaking the stigma. But I figured there had to be better ways to medicate while caring for my family, and I was already a big tea drinker. I came from the Azores, where
the Azores?
The Azores.
Is that Greek?
No, that's in Portugal. That's in the islands in Portugal.
Okay, Portuguese.
Yes, Portuguese. So it's near the Canary Islands, actually. So I came from the Azores, and actually tea is a big part of the culture there. And it was a big part of my life, and I always loved tea, and I figured I'd start playing with adding cannabis to my tea. And at first it was total fail. It was not very tasty. I started making out of the tea, the cannabis leaves or the stumps, and
it was gross.
It was gross. And what I figured was I had to get real good tasting tea, quality blends, healing blends, and then add the cannabis. And once I started doing that, the benefits were just amazing.
And was this trial and error on yourself? You were just drinking it yourself, and you were testing it all yourself.
Yes. And then I started giving it to friends and family. I started giving it to my grandmother who had dementia, and it actually started calming her down.
Oh, yeah. So you saw the effects of that?
That's right.
You were her caregiver.
That's right.
Okay.
And she would have it for nighttime, which helped her sleep. But like the sleep and relax tea we
had.
And
I love.
Yeah. And it helps many people sleep. And I found that it was the blends with the tea, and you mix the cannabis, it really enhances the effects. So that's when Mary's came about. So we grew in family and friends wanted more. Then we started growing in the industry. We went into co-packing. We found a co-packer that would produce our product. Of course, this is in the gray market. Things weren't always as great.
Right.
So we started testing our product, and we found that after a while, it was not coming back with what we wanted. It wasn't the quality of tea that we had chosen. It wasn't always the quality of cannabis.
So once you were large scaling it, making it bigger, it wasn't going to be what you wanted.
It wasn't what we wanted, and I figured I'm putting my name, myself behind this quality and this brand. I need to be proud of it. I need to have something that I can really be passionate about it and be confident about, and tell people that this is good for them.
This is mine, and this is good for you, and be proud of it.
Exactly. So I took everything we had off the shelves at the time, because it wasn't the good quality, the quality I wanted. I didn't want that represent me. And this was in November. I took everything out of the shelves. And there was a high demand for it because it's around Christmas. And we came back in February with quality packaging, one of the first in the industry with quality packaging, with branding, with better infusions. We had better tea blends.
This is beautiful. This is fabulous. I mean, this is pink and rose-colored and tastes delicious. It smells great.
Yes. And then we got that attention. We got the effects. And I think one of my proudest moments when we got the attention of Chatelaine, and this was in the early stages.
That's pretty mainstream.
Yes, yes. And to me, that was mainstream. That was into 2016. So in 2016, there was an article on Chatelaine that was talking about the pinking of cannabis, the pinking of pot, and it was about women in the industry, and it touched on brand, and I was so proud to see it on the shelves at Shoppers Drug Mart and everywhere. There was. Yeah, it was like, oh my God, there we are.
You started your healing journey with. That's right. You made a conscious choice to use this instead of pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
And then you created something out of that is really magical and wonderful, and that women are celebrating all over. I have tons of family members and friends that don't smoke a joint. They're much older than me, and the stigma is always going to be there and will always be there. So the tea is something that, I mean, who doesn't drink tea?
I know. Right? And the healing properties and benefits of tea blends on itself are great and beneficial for most people. And then, that's a great way to consume cannabis and have those benefits added.
And you can have ladies who lunch and girlfriends come over, and instead of smoking a joint, you have a glass of tea.
I know.
A cup of tea. What's wrong with that? I mean, it's a classy, very classy way to consume with healing properties and helping others. I've used your nighttime, the one. I had restless leg syndrome and I couldn't sleep.
It was really. I have that too.
It's terrible,
I'm
right? tired, but my body's running. So how am I sleeping? And I would drink your tea. It helped. I did it almost probably 21, so 3 weeks in a row, like each night for about 3 weeks, and it definitely helped.
And that's real. Just it. It's the emails, the calls,
the response from
the positive response that we get from people was amazing. And we looked at it. It was a product that bridged people together. It really helped mainstream and cannabis come together, because it's like, oh, I'm not smoking. I'm not just getting high. This is a product that's benefiting me in a healthy manner. It's something that's benefit to my health. I can consume it anywhere. It has no smell, no taste. I mean, no smell. It has taste, sorry, but no smell. And
not of a cannabis taste.
Yeah, and not of cannabis taste.
No weed.
That's right. And the other thing that I found it really kind of cool, and I got cheeky with it, was I could travel with it.
Oh.
It looked like a simple tea bag. In the early days, no one is looking for cannabis packaging products.
I don't think they are right now, are they?
I'm not sure, but I know that back then I could definitely take the tea bags with me. And they were not.
And there was something it wouldn't set anyone off. You're like.
And as a matter of fact, I remember getting the stores on an airplane because I'm a very nervous flyer, and I had their make me a tea, and she was like, tea,
That's so good. I'm flying, and I had them make me a tea. They didn't know they were making me a cannabis infused tea.
That's right.
Good for
and there I am taking photos of my cannabis tea on the flight, right? And then I had a lady beside me, and she goes, "Is that cannabis tea?" And I'm like, because she saw my packaging there. She goes, "Do you want me to take pictures by the window?" I'm like, "Oh, you're lovely."
She's going to help you take a better photo.
So even a bystander, lovely lady was helping me, do
That's
a
really
better.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we make something out of nothing. We create something out of necessity. And we're like, you then end up using this to support your family, to help your family.
When we started out pretty much in our living room.
Right.
Then that was
packaging and labeling and doing everything.
I used to.
Did the kids help put stickers on?
That's what they did. I used to pay them. You know, there
Really?
was a way to make money. Was putting stickers on the packages, on the tea bags. You know, that was a way for them. They loved it. And then after a while, they became too rich and said, "Oh, we don't want to do it anymore." As a matter of fact, my neighbor, who's a lawyer, used to say, "Do you have any jobs for my daughter?"
I would like her to be getting into the labeling industry as well.
I want her to get in there because she's got to earn her money, you know. So I used to hire the neighbor's kid too, and they do stickers. But I used to package, you know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays and all the other days I used to do deliveries, and that's how we did it. I used to try a name for, because it was the dispensary days, the gray market days, and how would I get in the industry was basically I used to go into every store. You know, I used to go to 7 to 9 stores a day, and that was my mark. And I'd look them up on, at the time was Leafly or and see where they were and go see them.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
like it's quite a story.
And that's how I got to meet several of the people in the industry and made a lot of friends, because in those times we're all we felt like more of a family.
It was a community.
It was a
before
community.
It became sort of corporation, a business.
And
before
everyone
it became big, real business, like government run and taxes and all that. It was a community.
It was definitely a community. It was like a club, and it became like a family. Everyone was always there and supporting one another. It was great when there was new products and newcomers. And
did anyone discourage it? Did you have like, I mean, we all have haters. We all have like those negative Nellies. But did anyone say, this is not a good idea? This isn't great? This isn't...
Yeah, my living partner at the time was not happy with the, with the situation.
I had one of those too. Yeah. So that living partner just got a new place to live.
Soon. But, you know, I kept forward. I moved forward because I felt it was something I was passionate about.
Definitely, when you saw like in Chatelaine on a magazine, like at Shoppers Drug Mart, like how...
I know, it was amazing.
Seriously.
But of course, our best yet was the Dragon's Den, you know.
Right? Okay, tell us about the Dragon's Den. I know, but maybe our listeners and viewers don't.
Oh, geez, you know
Virginia.
the story about that, right?
The Dragon's Den. So here
we
we are
had
at the
Toronto
Dragon's...
Life and moved forward a few years. We were on several dispensaries. We were at one point at 150 dispensaries, and that was just in Toronto, or, you know,
the area.
Toronto, the areas. I mean, I couldn't believe Toronto had 150 dispensaries.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
We were distributed Canada-wide, and we made it to Toronto Life, CTV, CBC. We did Global Mail News. We did everything, as much, you know, whatever was out there. And if they got a hold of us and said, "Do you want to do an interview?" we took it, because we felt it was educating the community about cannabis, about the products. And so I remember being at home and getting this phone call from somebody from the Dragon's Den, and at first I was thinking that somebody's pulling my leg.
You thought this is a joke.
and then I thought about it, and she was inviting us to come and cast for the Dragon's Den. And at first, I didn't.
And at the time, did you need investors? You wanted more media hype, or
cannabis was
because
still illegal,
right? Okay,
it was still illegal. It was legal medically, but not for sale.
Okay.
Right? And what was happening was, at this time, many of the dispensaries were raided already. We were already protesting the raids. We were trying to get the government to convert the current dispensaries, like take the same approach as the U.S. markets did, or Colorado did, which was transition the current dispensaries into illegal, and they didn't want to do that. So we were trying to protest that, and that didn't happen, and there was so much going on. So when the Dragon's Den approached us to be on there, the producers and the director at the time, we were unsure about being on there, because we wanted to fly under the radar. Things were very unstable and felt a bit risky. So I said to her, at least for 3 weeks, no, repeatedly.
Really? So they would contact you again, or
and contact us for 3 weeks. It took her at least, I think it was on the 5th try that I said, finally, okay, fine, we'll try it.
Okay.
And she enticed me, believe it or not, with a golden ticket. She said, "What if I gave you a golden ticket?"
What's that?
I'm like, that's exactly what I said.
What's a golden ticket?
That sounds appealing. I want it. Whatever it is.
I'll take a golden ticket.
I don't even know why.
She got a golden egg.
A golden egg. I didn't know what this would do for me, but I somehow wanted this golden ticket. I was curious about it. She said, "Well, the golden ticket gets you to bypass the lineups. You don't have to wait, and you just go directly into filming, and then we'll let you know whether or not the initial interview. You go directly to the first interview, and then or the initial interview, and then we will contact you from there.
And so, okay, you get the golden ticket.
And then we bypass the lineup, go right to the front.
Who's with you?
My son, Ricardo.
Okay.
And I wanted him to be part of it so that we could bounce off each other.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I watched that one and I was like, what the hell? She's a drug dealer. Like, it was actually really cool. Like, I mean, breaking, like I say, the OG of cannabis, breaking stigmas, stereotypes. I mean, I loved the Dragon's Den and Shark Tanks and all that stuff. And to see cannabis, to see weed, as my husband calls it, and always will, on primetime TV, like on mainstream show like that, pretty cool. Like, it's really pretty. That's really cool.
It was exciting.
How many people can say that, like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody should write a book about you, but okay, go on. Go on.
So, actually, there is a book that's in process, and I've taken a couple years off, or a year off now. But
it'd be an interesting story, I can imagine.
Yeah,
from
I gotta
being
resume
pulled
it at some
over on the
point.
side of the road.
Oh, God.
Next thing, I'm in the Dragon's Den.
Yep.
Okay, so you bypass the line. You're in the Dragon's Den.
And then, of course, we get right away the phone call very shortly after saying, when can you guys film? And I chose Portugal Freedom Day, April 25th. We'll film that day. Should be good luck for me, I hope. And I really wanted Ricardo to be in the part of it, but they said no. We want to take the female approach to this cannabis industry. But I thought it would have been better to also have the family approach.
Family approach.
And the triplets came, and they were there all day.
Triplets are girls, right?
Triplets are 2 girls and a boy.
Oh, 2 girls and a boy. Okay,
yeah.
You're so cute.
And they were 12 and. They were 12.
Oh, that's fun. They went to the Dragon's Den.
There's, little shoots of them and photos of them. And it was quite the experience. We were there all day. And lucky for us, there was a guy that was presenting, and he was doing, those salads you see, raw salads everywhere now?
Yeah.
They're ready to go. He was presenting that, so we got to eat all
day. So you had
after.
something to eat all day. We had salads all day long. That's funny.
It was quite the mix. I thought we were going to have a bunch of cannabis people, and I was like, whoa, I'm going to hang out with my peeps.
But it wasn't, right?
It wasn't. No,
okay.
It was just different industry people, and everyone thought we were the coolest because we were cannabis.
Yeah.
There was the vacuum guy, there was the underwear girls, there was like everybody, but we somehow were the coolest, and everyone wanted to.
Do you know why I was watching that show? Excuse me to interrupt.
Yeah.
Now I know why. I used to work for Naked News, and the girls from Naked News were the underwear models for the Dragon's Den.
Oh.
So I used to watch Dragon's Den all the time. It's like, I work with her. And they always had their underwear girls on, or the gym girls, or whatever.
Yep,
and
they always had them.
Yeah.
And they were there too, again, right? So it was kind of cool. Even the underwear girls were like, can we get some tea?
Can we have some tea?
Yeah. And it was really cool. After the show, they asked for tea. But that whole part, I gotta say, where the stoner moment, they made me look like a stoner. I was so baited. I just want to clarify. I was really baited on that.
What stoner moment?
Oh, when we first walk in on the Dragon's Den, and then I push the little tea cart, and I pass the entrance, and I keep going. And then I have to return back.
Okay.
But what happened there is, just before going in, they told me to push my little cart, and then there's the director and producers and everybody, the whole team. They're like, okay, it's time for you to go in. But make sure you pass the second pillar, and that's when you got to turn.
Oh,
so I'm like,
so that was baited. They made it look like they're like, oh, stoner.
Stoner. Right? So I'm like, okay, I'm totally cool with the stoner name. I've adapted
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, the highlight was really having every single one of those dragons hold our tea box and drinking the tea and telling the audience how good it tasted. Actually, they were really surprised how good it was.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens afterwards when the cameras are off and they're just chatting, or do you get a time to talk to them? And
you do,
it's super
actually.
edited, right? Like, it's edited like crazy, isn't there?
Right.
Do you have time? Like,
oh no, when you leave the den, and then the next team's got to come on.
How long are you actually in the den?
Oh, you're in there for about 20 minutes.
Oh, so not we see you 3 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever. So you're there about 20.
20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole 21 minutes, and they make you work for it, and they sweat, and it's a lot of editing.
Yeah, and you didn't get a deal, or was
I did.
Who?
We got a deal. We got a deal with Lane. who used to
okay,
be
yeah.
the CEO of Disney. So
Yes.
right,
That's kind of fun.
Disney and cannabis, right?
So what happens when you get a deal at the Dragon's Den? Then is it not yours anymore, or do they take it over, or what happens?
No. What
Just a
happened? We
portion.
got a deal, and then afterwards, their team came and met us and got all our information, and then they call and they wanted to move forward with the deal, and I just didn't feel it was the right time to move forward with the deal because we were not quite legal yet, and we
just waiting for.
Yeah, we were still a gray market. And as flattering as it was,
right.
we were still gray market. That's
right.
the fact. We can't really go launch any tea product and put it on any shelves at that point.
Especially with Disney.
Especially with Disney, that's right. So we told them that we needed to wait until, this cannabis part, the part of cannabis where edibles, or as we call it, cannabis 2.0,
okay.
Was legal. So we really needed to wait for that to then reach out. And so we're at a point where we're almost there. Yeah,
almost there.
Almost there. So keep your fingers crossed. We're almost there.
So what do you think about infusions and edibles and I know your tea is whatever, but what do you think of it on a do you think drinks are the next big thing? Do you think chocolates are the next big thing? Do you think
looking at the U.S. market, there's several people who still enjoy the smoking aspect of cannabis, but more and more people are more comfortable because they can't go out and smoke cannabis, but they'll be more comfortable with having the edibles or the drinks in places where they can't smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several people who can't smoke for health reasons or because they don't actually like to smoke.
Right.
So that's where the benefit is. And there's, I believe, a larger market for that than there is for the smoking part of cannabis.
Smoking is still smoking. So
right? Yes.
It's not something, I don't know. I have all those influencers that smoke.
I enjoy
and do bongs.
both.
I like to.
In a
but
social aspect of cannabis.
I can see why it's not something that everyone celebrates, whereas
take an airplane, for an example. You can't light up a joint on that.
But you can drink a cup of tea.
But you can definitely drink a cup of tea.
For sure.
Have a bottle of juice or something that's infused, anything that's infused. So
and I like infused. That's how we met at my home for the Can We Dine, which was an infused afternoon.
Yes, that was
I've been
lovely
doing
too.
that for a while, and that's how I like to sort of consume myself for the most part. I like to have my food infused more than smoke. So I guess that's how they brought us together. She was like, oh, and it was Cindy from Vancouver.
That's right. Cindy Tran.
Cindy Tran, that's right. It's Can We Dine.
I still keep in contact with her. She's actually coming to Toronto for the old cannabis thing, and I believe you are as well, filming something with Cindy for the women's breakfast.
If we still have old cannabis because of coronavirus.
Right, I heard about that.
No, sorry. So
now we're at a stage that we may or may not need that funding, but we'll see how it gets to because we're just in the final processes of we're doing the labels now. We got the product picked for what we want to come to market first. And our co-packer got their license this week. So
congrats! Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
So we're hoping to be on the shelves by May, by the end of May.
Wow, good for you. That's
hopefully
really
earlier, but we're gonna say the end of May, just
right?
To
that's awesome.
Yeah,
then don't want to jinx
lower our expectations there.
Well, I'm gonna let him down and let's see if he.
But we're really excited about that because. Again, it's the demand every day. Every day we get emails or letters and requests. And when can I get your product? Can I get your product anywhere? I have a family member that depends on it or is used to it.
Aww.
Yeah,
makes it worth it.
Exactly. And a lot of them, it's parents and their relatives that are ill, but again, they don't want to consume cannabis in a different way. They don't want to smoke it. They want to be able to, drink it or eat it. And one of my friends actually told me was that she was helping her mother and treating her mother with cannabis chocolates because her mom loves chocolate and has a bit of a sweet tooth, but she ended up getting diabetes, because she was eating a lot of it, right? So
I've heard these stories.
Yeah, and so when you have something that's something like a tea. And that you can serve it on a regular basis, then there's less chance of that, and it's a healthy product too. So it has many benefits. But we get emails and requests all the time. One of them was actually recently was a group of doctors that run Chartwell nursing homes up in northern Ontario, and they said they actually were willing or in the process of writing a letter to Health Canada. Requesting that our products be part of the new
Chartwell nursing home.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I know.
I know. Okay, I'm excited, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's legal. Cannabis is legal.
Exactly.
And this is medicine.
And they want our product to be out there, to be available for their patients, because they have found that several of their patients have benefited from it. And these doctors have taken upon themselves. Actually, recently I sent them a large amount of tea uninfused so that they can then do the infusions themselves there, because we're not in that legal process at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I sent them a large batch of teas and swag and stuff, and all the patients were very happy, and especially the sleep tea, because it has the sleep blend that everyone enjoys. So by adding the cannabis afterwards, it was they're very grateful, let's put it this way, and they have written several emails into that aspect.
That's awesome.
I
mean,
know.
that's really. I mean, you're doing a lot of really great things, and
Thank
a
you.
woman at the forefront of this, and we're all celebrating International Women's Day, and proud, strong women,
Yay.
and it's quite a journey. You got pulled over. I keep going back there from being pulled over on the side of the road,
But this is the future. We're building not just for ourselves, that we need to make these changes for our children as well, for the future of our children.
How old is your oldest right now?
My oldest right now, who's also my business partner, his name is Ricardo, and he's just turned 31.
Okay, so
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I
look
know,
at you.
right? And my daughter is expecting, and she's
congrats.
she's
Oh.
25, and then I have another daughter who's 24 now. Or actually, yeah, she's 24 now. She was January, so.
What do they think of cannabis?
Oh, they're all.
They just
all
were born
enjoy
and
it.
raised in it, and
Yeah.
it's part of their life.
They were late
Well,
bloomers
okay.
to it. My son, I found out when, at a certain age, as a teenager, he was getting cannabis from the street, and I thought, that's not acceptable when I have cannabis,
Right, yeah.
and I'm growing it. So he became quite the, he was quite the connoisseur, quick enough, and it was kind of funny because he'd be hanging out sometimes with mom as a teenager, and he'd be having cannabis, and then his friends would call and say, hey, do you want to come out? He's like, no, man, I'm chilling with my mom.
I'm chilling with my mom. My mom doesn't want to hear that.
I know.
I'm chilling
We
with
got
my
to the
mom.
point where you should really go out with your friends. You need to have more of a social life than chilling with your mom, okay?
Well, I mean, I would give anything for my son to hang out with me. But now that he smokes weed, we hang out a
lot more, probably.
For real.
Bond, right?
And he used to be in the basement on his laptop or playing
But now he
video
comes
games
and
or
chills
whatever.
with you.
Now he comes out and hangs out, and and we have conversations. He actually sits outside in the sun because he'll be smoking a joint or whatever. And so instead of in your basement, you go outside. It's actually like
a great
and
relationship,
I hear,
right?
for real.
Yeah.
And to hear myself saying it out loud, what cannabis has done in my family. It's incredible. I mean, I was that, I say to lots of people, born and raised on Nancy Reagan, this is your brain on drugs, and, in the frying pan, and just say no to drugs. And that's how I raised my kids as well. And now to have this complete, it's all I talk about. It's like, get that, you should smoke a joint, or you should infuse some food, or here, I got a rosin press. Let's all press rosin. It's changed, and
It really has.
It's quite a conversation.
Yeah.
It's quite a time to be alive. I mean, I think it's incredible. What's next for you? What says this is going like this? What's next?
Well, going into production, that's what's next. But having a good distribution out there to
Will there be more
Canada
than just
wine.
teas?
Oh, there'll be definitely more than teas. Yeah, we're looking into more products as we go along and developing, a whole different line.
That's a secret. Are you biting your leg? He's like, ah!
Kind of hard.
I got some secrets.
We got some secrets, and we also have had some, brand licensing interests, so we're open to those ideas as well. And
Are you a medical patient? Did you say you
I
are?
am a medical patient. I'm actually one of the very few still that can grow. There's not too many because they stopped giving those licenses at very early on in the medical cannabis.
As we were transitioning to legalization and stuff?
To legalization, they stopped giving away for some reason. Grow. I believe you can grow now, but only up to 5 plants. Or something that way. I was able to grow up to 75 at one point. But I don't grow it anymore because it takes time. It's consuming, especially when you can get it for much cheaper these days. Much. Good quality too.
So what do you call the black market? Do you call it legacy market?
Legacy market,
yeah,
definitely.
I like legacy market too.
I prefer it, and it was really refreshing to hear the LPs come to our side and say, hey, the government is really not very nice to play with. And we're like, see, we told you.
Oh my
and then
God.
they started calling us the legacy market. They are actually many of the, I found many of the LPs were the ones saying, these were legacy people. These were the ones that started it, and they started seeing our side.
They're slowly,
and they started to working with many of the people in the industry, and it's good to see that, because at one point it felt like the people that fought for this industry to be where it is were getting left behind. So it's good to see that many of them are being recognized.
I'm glad you brought that up, because when influencer is like a dirty word, no one likes that. It's just not a great word. And then you throw the way I look with the word influencer, it really fuels the legacy market and the people that were here way before I ever was here. And I recognize them and I acknowledge them and respect them, and I get what knowledge I do have, I get from them. I'm a sponge. And I mean, no one has ever actually come face to face with me. Like, we joke about it and say this is legal weed or this is LP weed. I don't purchase legal weed. And everyone assumes I do, and they assume I whatever. Like, I like having these conversations and dialogues about really what's going on and respecting that. I mean, I keep saying OG, like, for real. This is way before.
I know.
You were doing this way before I even, took my first bottle toke. Do people still do that? Or hot knives or whatever those
Oh,
things?
God. It's a long time since I heard those.
When I said hot knife, you go, oh, God.
It's been a while.
Like, do people still do that? I don't know. All that stuff will come back, maybe. No.
We should take a poll on that.
Yeah. We should do some hot knives when we're done. So, your favorite way to consume, do you like to smoke or do you like to drink tea? Like, what is your favorite way to consume cannabis?
Currently, because of the stress level, it's that habitual thing. So tea and then the smoke.
The smoking,
goes hand in hand.
The ritual of the smoke, right?
Of it. But I also, at times where I get into those moods where I'm like, no, I got to cut that out and cut down, especially when I'm running at the gym. And I'm like, all right, I need to cut that out.
So let's transition to that. This new life, this new part of your life, this new chapter. I see you're at the gym a lot.
Actually,
you're traveling with a big smile on your face. You have a handsome friend with you often.
Yeah, that's...
So, can you, because we're highly intimate, can you give us a few minutes of what's happening on the personal side of Virginia?
On the personal side of Virginia. Wow, that is getting
she just got so red. She's like, now we're getting highly intimate. I we'll just
have some tea.
We'll just have tea, and you can. So you've always been going to the gym, maybe a little bit more now. No,
well, I've always been going to the gym. I was quite the fanatic, and I enjoyed it. But I got quite busy when we were running our own factory. I mean, I went from, being a stay-at-home mom of, trying to raise triplets and but enjoying my older children and a grandmother, being really busy with family.
Life.
Yeah, but, your typical mom life,
Mm-hmm.
I went from doing that to now running a factory that I had no knowledge of how to do it.
Wow.
It was like learn as you go, and just take tips from everyone that's done it, and we ran that factory for 2 years, and for those 2 years, I mean, there was nights that we slept beside the tea machine to ensure that the tea machine produced enough without interruptions to meet the demand for the next day.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes our shelves were constantly being emptied because we couldn't keep up with the demand.
Which is a good thing. But then Virginia's personal life gets put on hold.
That's
because it's all business all the time, right?
It was business all the time. And in between having that, there was also, going to the events that we go to, the several events, and there was a slew of expos and conferences for the first few years there. It was like almost every month, it felt like. So there was several.
I think it was.
Yeah, pretty much. And getting that out there. And, but moving along, my personal life was already on the rocks prior to that. And especially after that whole cannabis event with the RIDE program, things didn't get much better from there on, and I was already separated for over a year, and one day I was just at home and smoking a joint, hotboxing in the bathroom.
Hotbox in my bathroom.
Sorry, I never told you, hon.
And you decided now.
And I'm logging into Facebook like I did every morning, doing my socials, meeting friends, happy birthday to everybody.
We send each other a thumbs up
all the time, right? And then it says all of a sudden, do you want to join Facebook dating. I'm like, Facebook dating? What is that?
I've heard a lot about it.
I've heard a lot about it now, but I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. I'll bite. And I've met a few gentlemen along the way, but the best one was definitely the one I'm with right now.
And you seem really happy. And actually,
Yes.
you posted, it's been a while now, quite a few months, maybe
It's
almost.
been 6 months.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you posted a picture with a cute guy, and you were like smiling like from here to here or whatever.
I know.
And I actually I yelled to my husband, because he's on the toilet with Facebook. And I yelled to him on his phone. I'm like, Virginia's got a man! And he goes, I know! Bathroom. And I'm like, look at you. And then he says, because I'm pretty lazy. No, I'm not. I'm very busy, but the gym is not my focus in life,
Right.
but it is my husband's. So then he's like, look, it takes, you gotta fall in love to get your ass to the gym every day. Like, you know, I'm like, whatever.
Well, what actually had happened, I was already going to the gym because I was going to go to Jamaica with the triplets.
Oh,
I don't know
right.
if you remember that
Yep.
trip. I was going to Jamaica with the triplets, and I just wanted to feel better, healthier. Now I have the time because we closed up the factory and so on. But actually, when we met, and when I met him, I told him I couldn't meet him. The first date, I bailed and I couldn't meet him because I was at the cottage. I had moved some umbrella stands. I never thought those things were so heavy. And they were heavy. And the next day I wake up, I couldn't even get up.
No, you hurt yourself.
I hurt myself. I hurt my back. And I was just smoking cannabis, getting high, and fell asleep. And he was so understanding.
Aw, when
He
it's
was
meant
so
to be,
good.
it's meant to be.
Yeah, definitely. He was never going to talk to me again. I mean,
no.
he calls me and he's like, what happened? We're going to have a date. And I'm like, I just had to be honest. I fell asleep. I just fell asleep.
Well, what better way to start than just be honest?
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
A typical stoner thing to do, you know?
So is he in the cannabis space?
He is in the cannabis space.
That's great. So this is a great
He's transition. He's really excited about launching his products soon. Most likely be doing it together. So this is exciting. It's quite the journey.
Oh, I love it. It's really good. You have
Yeah.
quite a fairy tale little story. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, I can't wait for the book to come out. Really, really cool. And you're pretty badass. I mean, you gorgeous,
Aw, thank
interesting, like fun, and kind. There's a lot of drama, and you always jump in there and are
We have
kind.
parallel
And
lives.
yeah. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you coming here today and doing this and sharing your story and trusting me with your little stories and secrets and
Yeah.
the stuff that they don't get to hear.
I think you're awesome since
Thank
the first time we met.
Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you for getting highly intimate with me.
Yay.
I'm Jacqui Childs, and this is my friend Virginia, and we were highly intimate.